Hello everybody, this is Purge bringing you guys a replay commentary of Troll Warlord. I haven't played this hero in a while, and I did a weird item build this game, which is why I wanted to make a replay commentary, because I just love talking about weird itemizations. And Troll Warlord has, for quite a while, basically all of his history, been either a Battle Fury or a Maelstrom user, because you do need an item to increase your farm speed. And I thought that the best way to do this would just be by not leaving the fountain at the start of the game. But other than that, if you guys have watched me for a while, you know that I like to try weird item builds and do new things that are going to make the hero playable in a slightly different way. 'Cause I think that's the way that I enjoy and get a lot of value out of playing Dota personally, because I think that's fun. So trying something different is definitely something that I want to do. So this game, I opted for going for an Aghs Scepter build to farm, which is weird, but it can potentially work. So I'm at times during the replay commentary going to accelerate things to try to keep the replay moving a bit here, but I would say harassing a Riki like this as he's going to his lane is a really good use of my time, because the creep wave isn't here yet anyways. So I could see that the range was gonna hit him there, so I decided to do the damage. That way when he goes to his lane, he's at half HP instead of full. So that should help my offlaners a little bit here. It did cost me a decent amount of mana. Now, the thing about Troll as a carry, and the way that he's been respected in the pro scene for a very long time, is how good his laning is. He's very good at pressuring heroes in the early stages of the game, and mostly it's from his axes there. At level 1, if you skill your axes, you get ranged axes only. And they slow people for 2.5 seconds at 40%. So it's a huge amount of slow. And you can also attack and throw them separately. So you basically have like 2 attacks that you can layer really easily. And most carries don't have a low mana option to secure last hits. Troll does. His costs are a little bit higher right now. I looked up and realized that this guy was just really low, so now I just get a free kill, or Aosin will take it, whatever. Just a simple, he deserved it. He did all the work there, and I just finally looked up and was like, oh, this guy has no HP, I can kill him. But yeah, 60 mana for a harass is pretty reasonable. It has been nerfed. It used to be 50, I think, in the past, but as this was like the strongest thing that Troll did in terms of pro scene, it makes sense that they would want to nerf it a little bit. So the only downside into what I attempted with Riki, which was harassing him, is I did end up spending a lot of mana to harass him, and that's going to leave me a little bit low. That's my bad. That's my bad. Sorry, that's my WhatsApp. Sorry, guys. I'm closing that. By spending the mana to harass him, I now have a little bit less for the Sanking, which is unfortunate. But I should have switched to melee form there, because then I would have had more damage from Quelling Blade. It would have done 4 more damage. So definitely should have done that. And now I'm at level 3. I think I'm going to get another point in the Whirling Axes. The Whirling Axes ranged actually do more damage than they used to. They used to be the same damage at all levels, I believe. They just would slow for longer. But now they do a little bit more. And I'm not too afraid to take hits. I should be switching to melee form again, because it gives you armor. So I could have 4 more armor against AA when he hits me. So that was a mistake for sure. And here I brought my first items out. Now, in hindsight, I'm not sure if this is the right choice. I felt okay on Last City so far, so I opted to bring up Blades of Attack, because what that does is it gives you a much better laning command here in terms of last hitting. 9 damage is enough where they just aren't going to be able to contest your last hits nearly as well. And I assumed that the AA was coming here for the what's it called? The Lotus. So I decided to walk over ahead of time. So I missed a last hit or something, but I think it's okay. So I didn't want the AA to have this, because it's more mana for my axes anyways. If they're next to each other, it's a pretty good time for me to throw a nuke. But I am focusing probably a little too much on harassing, but it's good to do this, honestly. Especially as a ranged hero. I've been fed a mango, that feels good. So, for my itemization, I do often like buying Falcon Blade as carries, because it gives you kind of everything you need as a carry. It gives you HP, which is great. Lower chance you get killed by burst heroes, typically mid heroes, in the laning stage. I realized he was pretty low, so we can probably kill him, but unfortunate. Good body blocking from the Sand King, and I actually need to walk back. I just got a creep under tower, unfortunately. I didn't get experience for it either. Bummer. So I've missed a decent amount of last hits, I think. I'm probably like 5 or so behind where I should be. But either way, we've done a decent amount of harassment here, which is good. I don't know why I felt so confident getting this kill. But I used a lot of extra mana here. And then he did the smart thing and went down, which meant that my slow was not going to work. And now I again spent a bunch of time chasing him when we weren't successful getting a kill. But so that part kind of sucks, but either way, my Falcon Blade is going to be on the way now. So that'll give me much more mana regen. In case you guys didn't know, your mana regen for most heroes is almost entirely based on how much intelligence you have. There are some heroes that have higher than normal mana regen, like Techies I think is an example of one from his past days. But because Troll has one of the worst int gains in the game, he's a very stupid hero. He only gains 1 int per level. Having a mana regen item is really helpful on this guy. So in this case, most people get it from a Battle Fury or a Cornucopia in a lot of cases. But for me, I opted to go for a Falcon Blade because I kind of wanted to try the Aghs build. So here's what the Falcon Blade gives you. 200 health, which is going to help you against those burst heroes. Mana regen of 1.8, which is really solid, and 14 damage. So normally you want to buy generic stat items on carries, like Wraithband is a perfect example because it does give you, you know, HP, attack speed, armor, all of those things. But Falcon Blade also really solves the problem because I just went from 1 mana per second to 2.8, so it's a huge difference in terms of my ability to harass, basically. Another thing that they did that changed Troll Warlord, unfortunately I got frozen there, is they changed your stances when you use your Whirling Axes. So rather than having to switch to range to throw it ranged, you could just press this hotkey and it will do it for you, as does the other one. That was a nice kill by Aghs changing targets here. We have done like a huge amount of harassment though, which is kind of what led to this moment. Again, not enough last hits for me. I'm actually way behind where the Ricky is, but I can catch up. I'm also kind of low, unfortunately, which is a bummer. Oh, I should have gotten that range creep. Let's focus on shopping. So in moments like these, what you really hope for is the Flag Bearer creep typically, because those give you regen aura. There's one over there at the large camp. If I stand by this, I get an extra 3 that can really help solve some of these like regen moments. But I'm just going to pull this creep back to the tower because last hitting under the tower is pretty likely when I have this much damage and levels. So I'll get those, and you get a little bit of regen from the tower 1. That'll help solve things. And then here's my salve, which I'm going to use. I maybe should backpack my Falcon Blade while I use this, because that would give me slightly more heal. That's because I'm healing about 400 health. If I lower my max health by 200, then the amount of heal that it takes to go to full is a little bit less. But I ended up not needing it. I just stuck with where I was. And then I'm going to deny creeps whenever possible as well. So I'm maxing out the Whirling Axes again because I want to be able to do potentially more damage. And because my damage at this point is decent. And my mana is good. Oh, this one hurts. That was a really unfortunate one to miss. That was worth 2 last hits. Because my mana regen is good, I'm not afraid to just spend Whirling Axes to do a little bit more. So, you know, between 2 nukes, I can do 270 damage, which is really solid. So, maybe a little bit weaker in terms of longevity. He's got a Vanguard right now, and his he managed to get a Seeds of Serenity, I think, from clearing those ancient stacks, or those large stacks right next to me. So that makes it's going to make it a lot harder for him to die now, unfortunately. And now I'm getting ready for my next item. Phase Boots on Troll is extremely common. You can definitely do something like Power Treads as well, because Power Treads would allow you to stack up your Fervor faster. If you guys don't know how Fervor works, every attack will increase your attack speed if you're attacking the same person, basically. So you want to utilize it. You want to attack fast, ideally, so that you can eventually build up the stacks and then attack so fast that they die or get rooted repeatedly from your first skill, is how it works. Very happy that I managed to get the neutral item, so I picked up a Duelist Glove because I'm going to be fighting people. And it gives me damage and attack speed when fighting heroes, which is great. I probably wanted this, or Broom Handle, or maybe the pig pole, or you could get the mana regen glove, or the occult bracer would have been decent as well, because I will be hitting creeps and spending mana to farm. Now, at this point in the game, I knew I was going to go Aghs, but I wasn't quite sure like if I could do other stuff. And there was a troll game that I played a couple months ago where I was against Merlini. I can't remember if I uploaded it or not. I think I did probably because it was a good game. But I went Battle Fury and I went Aghs. And after that game, I recalled that it was actually just kind of greedy to go for this, to go both. And the reason is because they both kind of allow you some farm stuff, but it delays other items that you need a little bit too long. So you kind of have to make a decision about it, basically. And that decision is effectively like, I need to decide, is it like, do I need a BKB or you need a Yasha or something like that instead? I didn't talk about why I got phase yet. The reason you go phase over treads typically is because what it allows you to do is it allows you to chase. And you also move from camp to camp faster too. So you're effectively increasing your farm speed in addition to other things. I didn't know exactly where this guy went, and I kind of wanted to fuck with him, but like it's hard for me to stand on this wave right now, unfortunately. So this is like one of those circumstances where we can't really kill him, but also sitting around here waiting for his Sandstorm to end is not really a good use of my time. So I probably should be jungling instead of standing here, because it also lowers my chances of dying. So back to jungling. Or I could jungle the large camp too. Also an option. Even just like forcing him to use Sandstorm like this, for example, is really not that bad. I believe we had a pause here for a while, so I'm going to speed this up a bunch. But if he uses Sandstorm not on the creep wave, that's good, because that means that he's not using it on me. Or he's not using it on the creep wave, and thus his farm speed is going to be a little bit less. He does get a little gold from the tower, or from the neutral, obviously, but that's all fine. Now that there's another... Did you walk that over? I can't even tell. He might have been trying to stack that, I couldn't tell. And I'm just going to use my spells often, because again, they are doing damage to the creep waves. But another thing, aspect that I was unsure about was I was initially unsure if I would need more versions of regen, because one of the things you need as a carry is you need the ability to farm fast, and you also need the ability to sustain, and that usually is HP regen or mana regen or both. So Battle Fury gives that to you, right? It gives you HP regen, it gives you farm, and it gives you mana regen. But in this case, I really wanted potentially more than that. I should have used those range axes earlier, because I might have been able to kill that fast enough to clear this, but I'm going to use my Lotus now to heal. But what's kind of cool about the Aghs is it sort of gives you what you need, surprisingly. Because it gives you, it definitely gives you a farm speed, because of the fact that you have, I knew that small camp was blocked, so I was going to go over here really quick. This also gives me mana regen from being in the well area. But it actually kind of gives you sustain. I was really concerned about this at first, that I wouldn't have a lifesteal. I was like, I'm gonna need to buy lifesteal is what it felt like to me. But that actually wasn't really true. And that's because when you buy Aghs, the cooldown for whirling axes is much lower. Here's a nice gank by Rosa. Super easy kill when he's behind the tower like that. I do not make those punishes enough as a mid hero, as a mid player. So here's the two pieces of Aghs that I was gonna work on. So the reason that Aghs helps you jungle is because it's giving mischance, basically. And when you buy Aghs, it lowers the cooldown of your whirling axes to 4 seconds, and the duration is 5. So that means if you are whirling axing off cooldown, which you should be, because it's going to help kill your camps faster, the creeps that are hitting you are constantly being blinded for 60%. So that's kind of equivalent to like having a Vanguard, in a way. Because now they just have all of this mischance against you. I knew he was going to jump on me, so I went for this. Rather than run, I decided to stand and fight, which was not a good choice. I maybe could have tried to ulti, but I was going to die there. I should have just backed up. I just didn't think they were going to defend it reliably, so I stayed, which was bad. Enchant Totem does so much fucking damage, man. Rosa's really good at Earth Shaker, so I was not super surprised.
Mega kill. Double kill.
So, I'm alive now. I'm gonna go TP to the mid lane. I don't know how long I've been alive. Probably too long. I want to hit mid a little bit, but I can't stay super long because at some point they're just gonna come pressure me. So I can't really, because I don't have much sustain in terms of health regen, I really can't stand and fight people endlessly. It's just not a good idea. Here's another thing I was looking at in the moment. The new shard. The way that it works is kind of like Gyrocopter's Aghs, in that it throws an extra ranged attack sometimes. This one works by, it gives you more stacks of fervor, and it gives you a chance to throw the attack based on how many stacks of fervor you have. So in this case, I have, it's 20% base. If you have 10 stacks of fervor, that means it's like a 50% chance. So when you've been hitting one guy a lot, it's going to throw extra attacks out. And this is another way to kind of increase your damage in team fights that Troll sometimes actually needs. I think the change to the shard is really, really cool, personally. Talent-wise, I'm level 10 now. Fervor's maxed out. Whirling Axes are maxed out. And here's the two options. There's Berserker's Rage Moon Speed. And in fact, I think if you could... Alright, this is going to spoil the game if you keep your eyes closed. Or open, but close your eyes for just like 5 seconds. Here we go. Okay, you can open your eyes now. And we're going to go to Trends. And I want to see... They're still fucking broken. Okay, I wanted to see which talents had a higher win rate and like how often they were picked, but I guarantee that basically all Troll Warlords will grab the left talent, the Berserker's Rage movement speed. That's because in melee form, that is 25 movement speed, which is a lot. 25 is huge. It's also going to increase your base movement, which means your phase boots will give you slightly more movement speed. They'll give you an extra 4 movement speed, basically, or so, 4 to 5 movement speed. And once you get Yasha, the movement speed you get from Yasha will also be more. So the left talent is, without a doubt, the most picked and probably the higher win rate. But because I was building Aghs Scepter, I was like, I got to get the Whirling Axes debuff talent. So what this does is it increases the blind duration for the melee one up to 7 seconds and increases the slow up to 6 seconds, which is a huge amount of slow. A 6-second slow for 40%, like legitimately really good. So because there was a lot of mid pressure, I decided to farm kind of near my allies. This guy, I really shouldn't be hitting him. This is just not a good use of my time because I don't have sustain. I'm definitely not going to kill him. So why would I like use my resources for this to happen, you know? It does not make sense. So, but we are going to move over to this side. I've got Aghs now, so I feel like relatively strong. But the reality is that this is probably a little bit like building a Battle Fury. And again, if this is a Battle Fury, it's very slow. Your Battle Fury should be faster than this. But I feel kind of confident fighting right now because of the Aghs. So, and this is why. Cooldown's 4 seconds now for ranged. And it is 4 seconds for the melee one. And the mana costs also went down. They're 30 and 25 now. So they're half the mana cost that they were before. So this is where I'm sitting. I've got 700 mana because of the int and the point booster. I've got mana regen from Falcon Blade. And now I'm sitting at a position where I can basically just jungle almost all the time here. For my neutral item, I picked up Vampire Fangs, which gives you lifesteal and spell lifesteal. So that means that I can lifesteal from my axes, but also lifesteal from my auto attacks. I'm still playing it in kind of an aggressive place, and as we can see from the map, they are all collapsing on me. And what did I do? I was like, I'm going to jungle. I was like, I want to fight. Was what I was thinking. But I don't know if this is good, but I've been ice blasted, which is not good. We did get a kill, which is cool. I do like getting kills.
Killing spree. This is Gabe Newell. Thanks for playing Dota 2.
If you'll notice there, he had a double damage rune on, but I hit him with the ranged axis, and that's because when you buy Aghs, it does a basic dispel. This is a very big deal, actually, for Aghs, and something I haven't gone over yet. You get a dispel that's AoE every 4 seconds on enemies, and the Whirling Axe's melee, when you use it, does a dispel for your hero as well. So between the Whirling Axe's melee and the Whirling Axe's range, I have 2 and like absolutely fantastic dispels. So to briefly go over what that does for me this game. Against an Ancient Apparition, his first skill, Cold Feet, if he uses this on me, I can press it any time in the 4 seconds that it's on me, and it will just instantly remove it. So Cold Feet on me is a waste. If he hits me with a temporary slow or an Atos or something, I can just dispel those things. There aren't that many other things to dispel, though. Caustic Finale I could dispel, and maybe the Whirling Death. I could also dispel that debuff, which would lower my stats by a bit. So not the most fantastic game for dispels, but it's okay. I could also remove the Diffusal Blade, which is like, you know, maybe good or bad. I can't use it if I'm in a Ricky Smoke Cloud. So the Silence and the Disables from the Shaman are a little bit of a downer because they will affect me. But either way, the cool thing is that I can use this to blind Ricky for 7 seconds at 60%, which is a really big deal. I decided to ulti him here. because I thought that would help us get a kill, which it did. Unfortunately, Ricky showed up because I had to stay longer because your ulti forces you to attack the tower. And as a result, I died, which was a bit of a bummer. But I killed the Timber, which felt good. So as a whole, I felt okay about my game position right now. I was like, I got some stuff done. I opted to get 1 more point of Berserker's Rage for the movement speed, but maybe I should have gotten more Battle Trance, more lifesteal, more attack speed, more movement speed. It's all pretty good stuff. I'm TPing back because my team is still fighting. And for my next item, this was probably the worst play that I made this game. Was really forcing this one here. And then I was like, oh, I'm just dead. Which I do just die against the Sand King. So that was probably the worst play I made of the game, I feel like. Because I felt confident based on the previous fight, but that death there was bad. I should just be hitting creeps, basically. And I don't need to be necessarily fighting. So let's take a look at the net worths here. My net worth is not that high. I'm significantly behind Ricky's. This is because my Aghs came a little slow. And if we compare the cost of Aghs and Battle Fury, they're actually pretty similar. Aghs, Battle Fury 4100, Aghs is 4200, and I also bought a Falcon Blade first, which is a little bit over 1,000 gold. It's like 1200, 1125. So I basically bought something that costs as much as a Battle Fury after I bought a Falcon Blade and after I bought a wand and after I bought Phase Boots, which when a lot of people tend to brush Battle Fury really quick, they sometimes shave off those other items just to get it as fast as possible so that they can accelerate their farm. I did not do that. I went for like a lane winning position kind of. That transitioned into Aghs, which I should be using to farm, but I have not necessarily done that very well. So I'm not saying that this is like a perfect build or anything, but this is basically the start of me trying to farm with it, basically. So it's trying to get regular time speed here. That's too slow, I think. No, that's too fast. Okay, here's regular time speed. So this is me jungling Ancients. I'm basically taking very little damage because they're constantly blinded. I'm probably doing these slower than I'm definitely doing these slower than if I would have Battle Fury, which isn't good, but I don't think it's the absolute worst. And now I'm going to try to take the Tormentor by myself. And every time I throw ranged axes, I need to switch back. And then I'm going to ulti when it gets low, because I can't die to it. Then we manage the Tormentor for free. This is where I started telling Eosin to use his little leap thingy. I was like, use Sproink! Use Sproink! He didn't use Sproink. I was very disappointed. Anyways, I had to heal now. Yasha, I think, is a natural transition here, because the fact is that Yasha as a carry will increase your farm speed, because it's going to help you move from camp to camp to camp, and it gives you things you need. Agility, which is damage and armor and attack speed. If I hit him with the whirling axes there, his haste goes away, and I think we have a kill. And then I missed another one, again. Felt very bad about that one. I managed to blind them, which was good. But then I died. Felt very bad that I was not able to break his haste. So this is the second biggest mistake that I made this game. Which was missing the whirling axes ranged on the Timber. If I dispel his haste rune, we just kill him easily. But I fucked that up. So that sucked, because I could have been hitting creeps this whole time. Anyway, still got Vampire Fang, still got Yasha. Finishing your Yasha upgrade is a bit of a choice. A lot of pro players at higher levels will pretty much always upgrade their Yasha into a Manta style. And that's because pro players are very fucking good at the game, and they're very good at using it in good ways, which is basically dodging abilities, anticipating when their opponents are going to use like a single target stun, and then they avoid it. I should really be stacking this. I feel like I don't stack it. I am confirmed on this. Oh, I eventually did it. Okay. No. And one thing I didn't do very good at the very start of buying Aghs was I didn't use the spells constantly, like I basically eventually did right now. This is back at regular speed. Sorry, I'm sometimes upping the speed to 1.5 times speed to make things go a little faster. But I queued up an MKB right now because I was like, I got to deal with this this Ricky smoke cloud basically, because if he's going to be constantly giving me mischance and stopping me from casting spells, that's going to be really detrimental to my likelihood of winning fights. So every opportunity I do, I use both spells. I should be using both spells because it does do a lot of damage, 140 and 200. Minimum for the blind, which is making me more than survivable enough. And here's a pretty big talent for Troll in this build is the Whirling Axes damage. I think most people probably go for attack speed. They don't need more Whirling Axes damage because they have a Battle Fury. They don't need the AoE damage, you know? But if I'm casting both of these spells, and they both do now they do 230 and 290 damage, this 15 talent actually makes this build quite viable because it comes online at a good time. Level 15 is a reasonable place to hit, especially for a heavy jungling hard carry. So the fact that I can do now 520 damage every 4 seconds with magic damage is kind of cool. Because my base damage numbers are not great. They're really not with the items that I have. The Mithril Hammer is going to help. Someone said I should get BKB, and I'm like, Sai, you're right. They're definitely right. I should get BKB. So I bought the Mithril Hammer first because I want to increase my farm speed just a little bit. But and part of the problem again is that my net worth is behind where it should be. And if it wasn't, like if I had taken the fights better, I would die less, and it wouldn't be as big of a deal, basically. I should have stacked that properly, but I didn't because I'm bad. And then we're going camp to camp a little bit while I catch up on farm, because once I get my BKB finished, the game's going to change a lot more, because then I can actually fight in the smoke cloud, basically. Normally, you do want to spend a lot of time on Ancients, because they give a lot of golden experience, basically, compared to other camps you're spending time on. But I'm just trying to run from camp to camp right now because we don't really feel very confident in fighting. Team's taking the Tormentors, which is great. Gabba got a free shard. This is one of Gabba's many games where he went for Aghs Refresher on Abba. Let me see how he's doing. He's already got the Aghs, he's got the Locket, and he's almost got Refresher. He just got a shard now. So I'm going to help my team take the tier 2 really quick. Alright, let's see how badly I play this fight. I'm going to hit him with the slows. We don't really want to fight here. I'm going to hit him with the slows. I blinded him. He's used Manta to remove my blind. I've hit him with the slow again, I'm pretty sure. This is not good. I'm trying to help. It's not going so good though. That catch is great. Disables on Slark feel good. I'm kind of scared here. So I opted to press my ulti. Unfortunately, because I'm not close enough to anybody, I just stood still for like 4 seconds. And thus I just completely wasted my ulti. And this Timber really fucked me up. It's a lot of pure damage.
That was unreal.
I felt like my impact was decent there, but it ended up not being that great, I think, in the end. So that fight felt kind of bad to me. I got some gold. I got a tiny bit of gold, but it didn't end up feeling that great, to be honest. So I threw lots of axes. I wasted my ulti going on the Sand King because I was a little bit worried and low. And then my fight was kind of just over, unfortunately. It's just really hard to fight the Ricky. Because he either smoke clouds and then I'm fighting in a smoke cloud. Or what he ends up doing is blinking away. Or he uses time, or his tricks of the trade thing to jump away, and then I'm far away anyways. Look at those beautiful AoEs. Alright, send that shit away. Get a new neutral item. Did I get the movement speed one? I do not recall. I did, yeah. Elven Tunic. So, more attack speed, more movement speed, and a little evasion. All good stuff to have. My team is owning without me. My BKB is inches away from finishing, but I do not have the gold yet, unfortunately. Now it is going to come as fast as I can possibly get it here. And we're going to hit some buildings. Cliff makes this kind of harder, though. What a nice Ice Blast. Watch Gabba here. He shields himself. Coward. Total coward. Here's my BKB ready. So I'm kind of interested in fighting him, but it's not very safe, obviously. Spells to nuke, of course. So now that I've got BKB, I'm thinking about getting my either Shard now or an MKB. Or I could upgrade my Yasha and make like a Sanj to lower stun durations is also an option. But I'm less confident in that one. Watch this. Glimmer Cape, dispelled instantly. So this is a little bit scary. I BKB'd here because I didn't want to fuck around. Dispelled. Did you see that? Did you see that? I just got 2 dispels. That man, look at this guy. This guy just spent a bunch of gold. Let's see how Vanguard costs really quick here. Take a look at the Vanguard. Vanguard 1,700 gold. Crimson Guard 3,725. This man spent 2,000 gold buying a Crimson Guard. And you know what I did? I just fucking dispelled it every 4 seconds. I killed this guy, and then he put it on himself, and I just instantly dispelled him. And he just wasted 2,000 gold. It's just like completely gone. And then I'm like, all right, we're going to kill this fucking guy. I was like, we're going to get him. I confirmed that Whirling Axes does not remove Yules. So it was an unfortunate reality. And then this Ice Blast came and like hit me. So I had to ulti. Ooh, unfortunately, that's my range. All right, anyways, I was very dead, but it kind of went okay. Actually gave a lot of gold in the end, surprisingly.
Double kill.
All right, let's check the fight recap. I made, once again, a little gold, which was not great for us. It was pretty even. I mean, the game's very close. My KD is not great, though. I think my ulti was solid. Our rundown of Timber felt good until that monster Ice Blast hit us again. The Ice Blast was really, really good. And then I decided I need more damage. I kind of felt like I didn't do enough damage in that fight, so I got the Aghs queued up. And then Rosa very politely told me that we should just take the Tormentor, which is... And I'm the only person that doesn't have Shard, so this is pretty sick. A nice way to accelerate my itemization here. Here's regular speed. Unfortunately, Joe died, which was a bummer. But now with my Shard, let's see if you can see it. Just listen. You're going to hear some extra attacks. And those extra attacks are my extra attacks that I get for free. Not for free. I had to kill a Tormentor or whatever to get this, but, you know, they're good. All I have to do is attack somebody. That's it. Some remnants of my items that I should have thrown away eons ago. But I decided to give this to Gabba so that he could heal somebody with it. So yeah, I mean, this shard is actually pretty good. If you think about how it works, it's free damage, kind of. Damage amplifiers are typically very strong in Dota. Like, Gyrocopters is sort of like 100% extra damage, right? Because you're attacking not twice as fast, but, you know, somewhere around twice as fast, right? So you could think of it as like an 80% damage increase. Muerta's Shard, for example, or a better example, crits. Crits are effectively a damage increase, right? So let's say Jug's crit, it's like a 20 to 30% damage increase or something like that. That's a lot of damage. This Shard is a 20% damage increase base, because 20% of the time you're going to throw out an extra ranged attack. So it's 20% more attacks for 1,400 gold. That's a really good value, even without the other benefits. And then when you attack one guy a lot, the benefit, the amount of the proc chances go up much higher. So then it becomes more than 20%. So if I pair that Shard with damage items, it ends up becoming very powerful, basically. And my net worth is still behind where the Ricky's is, so that part's not great and all, but here was my next choice. I opted to go for a Silver Edge next because I basically needed some solutions against Ricky. Watching them back this game, it didn't feel as terrible as it felt in-game, but I kept dealing with this Tricks of the Trade thing that just felt like it did a lot of damage to me, and it does later on for sure. But I thought the Shadow Blade would help me in basically 2 ways. Number one, it's not very easy for me to initiate fights or to get on top of a support, and Shadow Blade is going to help with that, because now I can actually run in invisibly. Shadow Blade also gives you a little bit of damage, 20, and it gives you 35 attack speed, both of which are good things, for sure, on this hero. More attack speed means faster fervor stacks, which means faster attacking, which means better chance to hit them with the ensnare, which means they are disabled and not running away. Very good against Ricky, for example, because then he has to use Manta to get out of it. Let's listen for those attacks. a couple extra attacks. Feels good. Genuinely feels good. Clearing stacks decently well. And then after I make the Shadow Blade, you always go Silver Edge. Silver Edge is a wonderful damage of utility item. Basically, a lot of pros buy this on carries just because it gives you both what you need. Initiation, in some cases escape. It allows you to scout for your opponents, basically, before you initiate, which is always really good. Because then you can decide, like, can I find a support without him knowing I'm here? Then you can just start on him in melee range, you know? That kind of a thing. Instead of having to worry about things. His BKB being down means that I shouldn't really be here, so killing this is really greedy. Even killing one was greedy. But I was pretty close to my Silver Edge. And yeah, the Silver Edge also has damage and crit components once you upgrade it, which is basically what I need, right? I want initiation, I want damage. So this will solve that problem a bit, and it's going to help me when Ricky uses tricks of the trade. If he doesn't have detection, he won't be able to attack me. So this gives me the ability to basically stand on top of Ricky's tricks of the trade instead of standing under it all the time. And now that the Silver Age is coming, I'm going to finish with a Sange, which is going to give me more raw HP. It's going to give me status resistance against Shaman and Ice Blast and Burrow Strike. And it's also going to up my lifesteal, which I don't actually have. But if I did have lifesteal, it would be good. So here's a Silver Edge now. 52 damage. Gives me a 30% chance to crit for 60% more damage as well. So this is great. Good item to have. Didn't actually want to go in here. But yeah, pretty good attack speed right now between all my items. Gonna take this because we already have their tier 2. We don't really want them to TP behind us. They know that I'm down here, so it looks like they are initiating, and I'm not really responding to that well. As I jungle, of course. So tier 4 it is. So I had a hard choice here. I had the... I'll talk about them because you can't see them because it's a replay. I had the choice between a Mindbreaker and a Penta-Edge Sword. Both are very good on carries like Troll who attack rapidly. There's pros and cons to both. Mindbreaker gives you attack speed, which is fantastic. It gives you magic attack damage, which means that if they have a lot of armor, you're going to do way more damage to them. You'll do a little bit worse against creeps, and it also has the silence for 2 seconds every 12 seconds, which is quite good, obviously. Because if I initiate a fight on AA or Shadow Shaman, that would protect me for 2 seconds before I need to press BKB, for example. And diversifying my damage is just nice by having a little bit of magic damage. I would say the magic damage, the Mindbreaker would be good against the supports and against Timber, I would say, most likely. Penta-Edge Sword gives you attack range, which is really good on a Troll when you're trying to run people down. 45 physical damage, which is really good because I have a crit, so that means the physical damage of the Penta-Edge Sword will apply and increase my crit damage, whereas my Mindbreaker would not benefit from my Silver Edge. And it also has the chance to maim, which is quite good on Troll because it's going to allow me to chase people better. 25% chance to slow their movement speed by 20% and attack speed by 60%. So if I potentially maim a Ricky, for example, and he doesn't dispel it, that's a lot of attack speed slow and movement slow. So when I'm running people down, Penta-Edge Sword is without a doubt going to be better because I'm going to maim them. They're going to be further slowed on top of the Whirling Axes and get a better chance to kill them. So I ended up deciding on the Penta-Edge Sword for the reasons that I outlined, but in the next fight, I actually felt like my damage was a bit low, and I kind of wished that I'd gone the other item instead. But it might have just been the reality of my farm level, honestly, which was, again, not very high. If I had a Battle Fury, maybe my net worth is top right now, because Ricky, for example, doesn't... Oh, he actually did go Battle Fury. No wonder his net worth is really high. It makes more sense now. Anyways, here's the Penta-Edge Sword. I want to hit those supports so bad. I have the BKB now because I'm silenced. Very unfortunate. Dispelled them, which is great. Now they are Surge, which felt bad. He got away, which was very, very unfortunate. I felt really bad. I should have ultied there, but now I'm going to die. So, two problems happened at the very end. Number one, we didn't kill the Sand King, which is really unfortunate. Gabba refreshed to use his ulti, but he was silenced, so he couldn't. And then I got jump silenced by the Ricky, and that prevented me from using my ulti. So it kind of sucked having to use my BKB in that fight, is what it felt like. I was like, I kind of have to BKB now because I get hit by the Ricky Cloud, and then I'm just kind of committed. But I could have probably repositioned with Silver Edge, and I don't think I did that. I actually probably forgot that I had the item, kind of a thing here. I think I almost died. was very wise of Rosa to go north instead of back through the enemies. Good glyph here. All things considered, I think that was a pretty reasonable hold. Considering that all of our heroes were dead, basically. Don't think this is maybe the guy I should go on, but I will ulti here, because it's good, dang it. Dispel, of course.
Double kill. Killing spree.
Gotta get them in snares. Let's take a look at the damage dealt. It did a lot of damage that fight. Rosa set things up as well, but 6,000 damage. Definitely a lot of right clicks, but also a lot of right clicks and definitely some whirling axes.
It happened again.
This is really unfortunate. I assume that he's going to be running, so I just picked up the gem because that's the most important thing. Unfortunate death there. But yeah, very important that I get Maims off and I land my whirling axis correctly. You should just basically be spamming these abilities when they're off cooldown. And the only thing you have to remember now, because they made the hero easier to play, is after you use whirling axis range, you need to switch back to melee almost always. Almost always. I got so many levels from that. I remember I hit level 20 earlier and I stopped. I didn't take a second to talk about the talent, but we can do that really briefly. I'm just going to pause for this because shit might happen when they're dead. I'm just kidding. Level 20, 10 Berserker's Rage armor. That means when in melee, you have 10 more armor, which is fantastic. And the other is Battle Trance movement speed. So that would be the extra movement speed I get from Battle Trancing. It gives you 35. An extra 20% is a wild amount. That's like if I'm 400 movement speed, which I am right now. I'm 431 with this Sanjiasha and Berserker's Rage and everything. An extra 20% would be 86 movement speed. It's a shitload. It is a lot of movement speed. So if you're kind of dealing with slows a little bit, fantastic talent. But I opted for their Berserker's Rage armor because the Riki just does so much fucking damage. He's been hitting me this game a little bit here and there, and I have been really struggling with the survivability aspect of that, and just getting 10 armor is by far the best way to deal with that. Like, he's got a Daedalus, Disperser, Aghs, Battle Fury. He's just doing a shitload of damage when he gets on top of me. So I wanted the survivability against that more than I cared about being a little bit faster with Battle Trance. But I can definitely see the value of having 80 more movement speed when I ulti. That's incredibly good in a lot of cases. Slightly low on mana here, which means I need to be a little bit careful. And I should be using Silver Edge way more. I used it in that last fight to attack the Shadow Shaman, which was a little bit unnecessary, but Silver Edge should primarily be used, ideally breaking the Timber Saw. And I could also break the Riki with it as well, which would be okay. Maybe not super necessary, but could be very good. And this is basically how I should do all my camps. Just use both axes and attack once or twice, and then they all die. At this point in the game, I really felt like my farm speed was really solid, and that's because I have a mix of the Shard, the Aghs, and you know, all of the damage items I currently have. But yeah, this is kind of how you should use Silver Edge more often. Use it to like run in and out of fights, run from farm speed places to get somewhere else a little bit safer. I mean, you do get that guaranteed crit once you break Invis. That does about 600 damage. But with my mana being slightly low and me being slightly worried about where I was on the map, I definitely wanted to use Silver Edge again to cross the map to a safer position. I think I bought myself Clarities here. I can't remember because my mana is a little uncomfortably low. I think I asked if somebody wanted to take this, and I think they let me do it. Did this for the team's gold, basically. I hit 25 killing the Tormentor. Somebody said, just take it. And I'm like, guys, I really don't need this. I'm already 25, like. And they said, nah, it's fine. I was like, all right, I'll take it. So this is a little dangerous to take this afterwards when I'm low. Because, again, I don't have lifesteal. But, yeah, I'm here, so I might as well. Okay, so 25 talents. I actually had 2 shit 25 talents games. Both of them did not feel good. I've either got Whirling Axe's Pierce Magic Immunity, which is normally sounds great. I've got Aghs, right? That means I could slow people through Magic Immunity for 40%. That's amazing. I could blind people through Magic Immunity. Amazing talent. The problem is that 0 people on the enemy team have BKBs. None of them. None of them have BKBs. 43-minute game, 0 BKBs. So, that talent this game, not so good. The other talent, we'll talk about in the next fight. I'm going to TP because I'm like, I need to be here, obviously. Good catch on the Ricky here. I maybe should have ultied this, I don't know. Rosa just fucking owned that fight, basically. Did 6,000 damage. I didn't do shit. I just, like, slowly auto-attacked a Ricky. I was just like, oh, there's Ricky. And I just started auto-attacking him. Didn't use my ulti. Should've just ultied. Because if I give myself, like, 200 attack speed there and manage to root him, at least it forces him to pop Manta first, you know. But that was a big kill. Alright, there's my completed MKB now for my next item. So now I don't have to worry about the True Strike as much. Little hex going on here. Trying to break this guy. Unfortunate. We may have overdove a little bit. I think Rosa called for back, and normally I would have like stayed and fought, but I was like, you know what? The highest ranked person on my team who's made very good decisions all game probably has a good plan here. So I decided to run where normally I would stay. But we got 2 buybacks out of it. Losing Enchantress is really not bad. And then I'm going to farm. This is a little bit dangerous because if they have vision or see me down here, they'll just keep running from where they were. But if they don't have vision, I get to farm all the way back this way while returning to the safety of my team, which is a pretty cool thing. And now MKB gives me more attack speed. Gives me 40 damage, and it also gives me the chance to deal magic damage as well, 80%. So this diversifies my damage a little bit. It's not the best DPS item, it truly isn't. Like something like a Daedalus is going to give you way more damage than an MKB by its raw base. Like if you want the most damage for the buck, Daedalus is definitely the item, and it would much easier help me kill the enemy squad. But because of the Ricky, I just have to get an MKB because I need to have the True Strike through his smoke cloud. It's just that simple. Yeah, he doesn't have a butterfly, but I just need that as a solution. I'm going to continue farming when I'm down here. I see my team is top, so unfortunately I'm going to have to TP to this outpost to try to get here. And then Silver Edge to get here a little bit quicker. Gabba's kept me alive. Gabba still kept me alive. Still stunned. Still disabled again.
Killing spree.
Broke him. He doesn't have Manta left. Have to be a little careful here. That will dispel his
Dominating, I guess.
thingy-mabobber. Oh, nobody grabbed it. I thought it was obvious somebody was going to grab that, but... Anyways, did I do well that fight? It was okay. I think I used my 25 talent. Yeah, I take Aegis, I think, for sure. I took the Battle Trance Strong Dispels, which I believe I used in that fight. I used it to remove the shackles that was on me. I held the BKB a really long time, but eventually, yeah, I just Battle Tranced and I BKB'd because I don't want to be disabled anymore. And if you don't BKB while you're Battle Trance, you're going to have a bad time. Keep in mind that Troll did get a change a while ago that you can use your you can use items while you're battle trance, which is a big advantage. Because before, if you pass prep battle trance and you didn't BKB, you would just be like screwed. So if you bought the two together, you'd always have to use them at the same time. And if your opponents had solutions against that, you just weren't doing anything. It felt really, really bad. So, man, have I just been screaming into the mic this entire video? People asked about audio levels, and now I'm like mic in the mouth. Anyways, I'm killing buildings here with my Aegis. If he cold feets me, I can just spin it if I have my Aghs in, which I did not here. Well, that's a lot of damage. Anyways, we got a double racks, which felt good. Going to run in invisible. I'm holding alt to see where the outward lines are. Definitely exploded there.
Mega kill. They're unstoppable. Double kill.
Invis here, so Ricky doesn't get to. I think I blinded him at least, but yeah, I was a little too deep. So one thing about the Battle Trance Strong Dispels, this only works against, and this is much like the Abaddon ulti, this only works against stuns, basically. If you are silenced or hexed, you cannot use it. Because to cast the spell, you have to not be silenced, and when you're hexed, you're silenced, and when you're silenced, you're silenced. So I can use this against Shadow Shaman's third skill, Shackles, but if he hexes me, then it does not work. So that's why sometimes there I'm sitting there like getting beat on, not doing enough, pretty much. And that's because I can't use it yet, even though I am pressing it. But in that fight, it ended up working out pretty well. Did they buy back again? I don't remember. I died for a lot of gold. My net worth is finally like quite high. But yeah, went a little too deep, I guess. We went a little deep. We got another melee barracks. Now I've got 6,000 gold and I'm trying to figure out what to buy. I'm basically queuing up like Aghs shard plus another item. And Rosa recommended that I just go Basher, which makes sense. Basher is just a great item on Troll. It kind of does what I talked about Pen Edge Sword doing, which is slowing them and helping my chase be better. And the Bash sometimes just gives you enough time to land in snares, pretty much. So I think I didn't have enough for buyback and Basher, so I'm letting this my timer tick out here. Man, Whirling Axe's Pierce Magic Immunity can be genuinely amazing against a lot of heroes if you think about it. Like if some Sven pops a BKB and goes to fight me, I guess if he gets an MKB it's different, right? But if he has an MKB, then it, it's not good. The slow is. The slow's good. I could like, he could pop BKB and I could hit him with Whirling Axes, and he could be like, "Oh, sorry, you're just slowed for 40% for 6 seconds." Like that's pretty good. But, yeah, I managed to get the Berserker's Rage movement speed talent at 10. That's the best thing about not getting the good talent at level 10, is that when you hit level 27, you get that good talent. It feels way better than getting, like, a mediocre talent. So that's one reason you should always take the bad talent at 10, guys. So I'm looking for Basher money, which is about 3,000, I believe. 2,875. And then the Aghs Shard upgrade, which is 1,600 right now. Because I definitely need the Aghs. It's going to be a bummer to lose the stats from this because, again, I have really bad int. So it'll lower my max mana pool by a lot. I don't look forward to that part. But, yeah, I bought the Basher here. And then I'm just waiting for the Aghs Scepter Shard because I need to save buyback so we don't just throw the game, because I do like throwing the game. And I'm going to continue farming pretty near my teammates because I like gold advantage. He broke his smoke there. I'm kind of trying to run into this, but it's like a lot of freaking damage. Little hard. We can take this for a golden experience. killed that shit fast, dude. Alright, that's enough. Okay, Basher Aghs, here we go. As you know, as a support player, you gotta kill those wards. Very important. Very important to kill those wards. It's just, going high ground just doesn't feel very possible to me like this. But it is the last racks and all of our waves are pushed in, so it just kind of makes sense to stay, I feel like. I'm hexed. I didn't know where I was. I was over here silenced. What happened was, I probably had Lotus Orb on myself. I'm going to go back 10 seconds to confirm this. But if you are Lotus Orbed, which I was, and then Ricky uses Blink Strike, what happens is you Blink Strike him back. So he'll go to where I was, and I'll go to where he was, I think. So I got Blink Strike, and that's why I disappeared here in this Burrow Strike, because I got jumped up. Oh, I got Burrow Striked, actually. Same thing. It's a movement spell, so I went to where he was, and I stunned them. Because whoever Lotused me was a god. Which, let's give them their due credit. Who was the god? Was it Gabba? It was Gabba. His Lotus there was very helpful. Now they are all dead. I can remove Ice Path, as you know. Give him the old break. Gabba keeps my life alive. Again, I should be removing the thingies. I'm getting stunned a lot. I just should have BKB'd earlier than this. I think I did catch him with the slow. Ricky's still over here like fucking people up, so I'm gonna try to help. And that's the nice thing that Silver Edge lets me do, is that I can stay invisible, not taking damage, and I can wait for the Ricky to pop out, and I can be on top of him just instantly.
Hello, this is Gabe Newell. Thanks for playing Dota 2. Double
I'm out of mana, unfortunately. I've officially gone too far. You guys remember when they typed GG? Anyone else remember that? That was a cool jump. And that's what ends it. So, anyways, this finishes my fun game where I built Aghs, and it kind of worked, but it was kind of bad, and it kind of worked. I think I would try it again maybe one more time. I think I spent a little bit too much time hitting enemy heroes in the laning stage when I should have been hitting creeps. That delayed my Aghs timing. And then after I finished my Aghs, I died like twice in kind of silly ways when I could have been like trying to power farm using the Aghs on neutral camps. And maybe in hindsight, I would go Shard instead of Yasha, I think. Because the Yasha does help you move from camp first. I mean, I would still get the Yasha, but I would probably get Shard first maybe. Because the Shard would probably increase my jungle speed more than a Yasha does, because it's a 20% damage increase. Where Yasha is like 16 agility, 12 attack speed. It probably increases my DPS by about the same, but maybe Aghs Shard I would farm faster on jungle camps. I'm not quite sure. Yasha definitely helps Aghs feel better, though, because it helps him move around in fights with movement speed and stuff, so I don't know. Maybe that part's a little bit unnecessary or irrelevant. I mean, I could even do something like buy a Windlace, maybe. Nah, that's probably bad. Probably not worth it. I'd run out of slots right away. But, I don't know, kind of a fun game. Doing something a little different. Aghs is a cool build you can try. You don't have to go meta builds every game, guys. I know winning is really fun, but I like trying weird shit. You know, it's one of the fun things about Dota is trying to invent something or find something that works for you and feels good. And yeah, maybe I'm gonna talk shit about your build someday in a video, but I don't know. That's a really fun part about Dota for me. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.